Around with this 2000 Sportster while the BMW's getting hot so I can service it. Just going through the boxes of parts here. I got 1, 2, 3 boxes of parts off of this thing. Just going to start grabbing stuff out of the boxes and putting it on here. I guess the guy took it apart to powder coat the frame and never finished it, and then somebody else bought it and he didn't do anything with it. Bought a 2022 Street Glide and got a bunch of other bikes, and I guess just didn't have time for this or whatever. So they did a good powder coat of the stock rims. They look pretty decent there. I guess they did the pulley too for whatever reason. And the front rim looks good. Did the forks. Kind of sort of did the motor. It's supposed to be a 1200 kit in here. I don't know if it is or not. That's what I was told, and that's what the guy was told that I got it from by the original owner. So I'm just going to start bolting pieces together. A couple of things on these powder coated frames. When you stick the motor in there, you should probably clear off a little bit of the powder coat to make a good ground contact for the motor, or run an additional ground. I don't know how well they got this sitting in there. Somebody put these nice stainless bolts in here with washers. I'll probably pull the left one out of there since that's where the ground cable gets bolted to, and clean that thing up and try and grind some of the powder coat off so we got a good solid ground there. Now remember, when you're putting these motors in here, the same procedure for all of them. You're going to torque the back. I'll end up loosening up the front mounts here until they're loose, and then torque the back, and then torque the front, and then do the front top there off the front head, and then do the center one in between the cylinder heads there where it goes to the frame. And that top one there, they're all, you're going to need to shim them if they need to be shimmed. The front, it's on slots, so you pretty much tighten it up to the frame there a little bit till it's snug, and then torque it to the head. And all the motor mount bolts get tightened to 35 to 38 foot-pounds, or 33 to 38, something like that. I always end up doing them at 38, which is perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, in that sequence. Good ground. Same thing with the regulator body there, where the regulator goes up against the frame there. You need to have a good ground on there. It's got a lug right here on the back of the regulator where my thumb is there. If you want to add an additional ground, what I'll probably do on this thing, like I do on all of them, is I'll get a piece of I think 14 gauge wire and run it from here directly to the battery. You could do it directly to the frame, but I do them to the battery. And just helps out, because if you don't have a good ground on the regulator, since the way the regulator works, it shunts excess to ground. If you don't have a good ground on there, it ends up overheating the regulator or frying it in pretty short order. So good ground on the regulator. See, somebody even painted this thing, so you can scrape the paint off the back here, sand it off, grind it, whatever, and grind a little bit off of the frame where it mounts up there. Some intake seals, they should be here Thursday or Friday, I think, and the clutch cable. The bolts there, back ones weren't even tight, front ones are tight as could be. So they just kind of sat the motor in there and bolted it down. ain't tightening up. It's like they're stripped or something. Well, damn. So I'm going to have to work on these, work them in and out to be able to get them out. I'll end up running the bolts back in, throwing some WD-40 on there, and have to work them in and out a couple of times until they come out. Start trying to work these things out of here. We call it Chinese Loctite because it makes you wonder about every other fastener on here now. Definitely going to have to go front to back on this thing and check everything after this. Have to check swing arm pivot, shock bolts, fender bolts, front end. Everything else associated with this thing will have to be checked. I guess I could, that kind of took the wind out of my sails right there after coming over that. On something else there, this is an ongoing project, so there'll probably be a lot more videos of this thing than just this. Still waiting on some parts for the intake here and clutch cable and some other crap, little crap like that I got for this thing. I haven't even been through all the boxes yet of parts. I know there was an extra primary in there, and most of the crap like bolts and stuff were stuck in little baggies with notes on them as far as which ones go where. So that was nice. But that's it. If you like my content, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Thank you.